Hey babes, welcome back. I am going to take you through a really short morning because honestly, I don't have a ton to do today, but I wanted to share some things with you guys just about my morning routine and about me getting back into the groove. Because as y'all know, or if you don't know, if you're new here, I'm Shantae, and I typically share my wellness journey. I share a lot of wellness hacks, lifestyle hacks to help you live a healthier life. But my last few videos were a little bit different, still wellness, but just a little bit different because March was my birthday month, and honestly, I spent the whole month doing absolutely too much, but I'm okay with that because it was fun while it lasted. And then on top of that, I had my anniversary right after. So it was just, I was doing a lot, y'all. I feel like I had to rest for a whole week just to kind of, I feel like I'm just kind of reorienting from being so off my routine and my rhythm. So I'm this week I have been trying to get back in that rhythm, get back in that routine, easing back into it. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. I'm going to share a little bit more about that today. And I got a Thrive Market order in, so I'm going to share what I got from Thrive Market. It's a very small order, so it's not even that much stuff. But I like sharing what I get from them because they do have really good stuff. And I feel like I've kind of gotten it down pat what I like from them. So I'm going to share more about that in a little bit. It is spring, and I am somebody who is deeply impacted by the weather and the seasons. And so I have grown to come into acceptance of that. And now that it's spring and the sun is out a lot more, I am like, I'm more energetic. I'm waking up earlier. I don't know, I'm just feeling better. So because I am like more energetic, I got some new fresh energy. I have a lot of things that I want to work on, or I'm gonna be a little bit more ambitious in this season. But one thing I want to encourage you to do, if you are like that, or maybe you are like this, maybe you are deeply impacted by the seasons and you don't even realize it, because I think a lot of people are. I think most of us just don't, because we don't talk enough about that. We don't realize how much the weather or the seasons changing impacts our, how we show up and how we feel. But I want you to start paying attention to that, because what I've noticed, and it's the same thing with tracking your cycle, is that once you start to notice the rhythms, your own natural rhythms, again, whether it be the weather, whether it be your menstrual cycle, whether it just is a relationship that you have, whatever it is, just start to be more mindful about those cycles. Because what I found is by acknowledging the different cycles in my life, I'm able to have a lot more grace for myself. I'm able to be a lot more realistic about things that I want to do, achieve, and accomplish. I'm able to be more realistic about when I want to rest, how I want to rest. So I encourage you, really start paying attention to seasons. My goal is to be done with all my important things this morning, and so this afternoon, by the time my son is getting out of school, I can be just more focused on him and spending a little bit of time with him. But right now, I am going to throw on some workout clothes, drink my perfect aminos, go for a walk, and then we're going to come back and get my life together just a little bit. Perfect Aminos. I have been taking these since last year. Y'all don't mind the dusty container. I've been taking these since last year, and I even went ahead and put it on what is it called? Like auto ship, because this stuff actually, I have actually noticed the difference after taking this. So I initially started taking it to help me build muscle. I just find that when I am working out more, because when I initially started my whole, I guess, fitness journey, so to speak, I was trying to lose a lot of fat. And so with that, I was doing a lot more walking. I did start lifting, but I noticed when I started lifting, I was like starving. Like I would eat breakfast, go to the gym, do, whatever, either a weight training class or, go lift weights out on the floor. But by the end of my workout, I would be just starving. Like it was crazy. And so I started taking this and I noticed that I wasn't feeling like that anymore. So I do notice that it helps with that. Like if you work out and you're like super hungry after you work out, I find that when I take this, and I'll either take it before I work out, or most of the time I end up taking it during my workout. Like I'll put it in my water bottle and just have it during my workout. But I'm going to change it up a little bit because I started reading more about these and how to take these. And I think the instructions were, or whatever I read, it was on their website, talked about like the best way to take them. Now, you can have it anytime that you want. Like I said, I've been taking it before, after breakfast or what, or while I work out in my water bottle. And I've seen great results with it. But I think in the whatever article it was that I read, it was saying to take it in the morning, do 2 scoops in the morning. Mind you, I've only been doing 1 scoop this whole time. I think I started doing 2 scoops maybe like 2 months ago, and I haven't even been consistent with the 2 scoops. But I've been doing 1 scoop, and so I think I'm going to change it to where I'm doing 1 scoop in the morning, and that will be my meal unless I'm lifting, because I have to eat if I'm going to lift weights. But just because I'm going on a walk today, and it's probably not going to even be that long of a walk, I'm just going to do 1 scoop this morning before my workout, and I'll probably do another scoop when I get back maybe. I'm just trying to figure out the best timing for this to get the optimal results, like, or the best timing that works for my routine or my schedule. So if you have tried this, or even if you take another amino supplement or whatever, comment down in the comments and let me know how you're taking them. Because I've read a couple different things about taking aminos in general, but they have kind of a specific way, or like a best practices or an optimal way to take it. And so I want to try to stick to their way just to see if I notice a difference. But like I said, even without doing it like they suggest doing it, I've still had really good results, or noticed really good results with this. I have noticed really good muscle tone. I do feel like I'm getting leaner without having to adjust my calories so much. What's something else? A big thing that I notice is that during luteal phase, you know how you have those cravings, and it's particularly for carbs and sugar. When I am taking this, I don't really have those cravings. And I think it's just because it is like, this is not a protein, but it is doing, I want to be careful. I don't want to like misspeak about this, but it's not a protein, but it's the amino acids that make up protein. So I feel like this is a way for me to kind of get more protein in a sense, without, having to pound protein all day. So I've been really enjoying this, and I'm also going to put my Elix in this too. So I've been using Elix Cycle Balance for, actually, I think I'm coming up on my fifth my fifth or sixth month now. So I think it's about time for me to do another review. I think the last review was a 3 month review, but I do want to share a little bit more about this. So stay tuned because I will likely do another update about how this has been working for me. Spoiler alert, it's been good because I'm still using it. With the Elix, I'm gonna do, they sent me a little spoon. I don't know if these come in everybody's packages, but they sent me these because I am an affiliate with them, so they will send me these every couple months. But they sent me this little spoon, and I think it's the equivalent of a half teaspoon. So I use both. I use two of these because I do have fibroids. Because a they recommend doing 2 servings if you actively have a condition or you are actively experiencing symptoms or you're experiencing severe symptoms. So while I'm not necessarily experiencing severe symptoms, I do still have fibroids. So they recommend, doubling the dosage up, so to speak. So I'm going to drink this and head out for my walk. Okay, babes, walk with me, talk with me. So I want to share something that kind of came to me as I have been really struggling with getting in a routine and staying in a routine. And it's mainly because in this season of life, I just don't have the predictability that I once had. I'm not working a 9 to 5. I'm creatively employed right now. So every day doesn't really look the same for me as far as, what I'm going to be doing throughout the day. And it's just not feasible for me to have a similar looking day or have the same day every day, which is fine for me. I like that. My brain seems to like it, so we just gonna work with it. My hormones, my body seems to like it, so we gonna roll with that. But one thing that has really been helpful for me and still sticking to a rhythm or some sort of semblance of a routine is focusing more so on, instead of focusing on a routine and this checklist of things that I need to do in the morning, I just focus on cups. So am I filling my spiritual cup every morning? So typically I do that through reading my Bible, praying, am I filling my physical cup every morning? Do that through walking, my economic cup. So instead of just being like, I got to make sure I'm doing these things in this order, it's am I filling my cup or cups through these time frames? So for us, sometimes like that routine, especially for women, sometimes routines just might be too constraining for you. So maybe you have one to three things that you do that are non-negotiable every day, right? And that is your quote unquote routine. But really the goal is just to fill up these cups, and strategically work towards these goals that you might have for yourself, or these things that you want for yourself, in a way that makes sense for you, instead of being so focused on performing wellness, pretty much. So I have personally been guilty of that whole performing wellness thing. And it's just because at one point in my life, I was just more rigid. So I needed that, structure that hitting all the points. But now that I'm in a different season of life, my body doesn't seem to be responding well to that anymore anyway. It's just easier for me to say, okay, am I filling these cups? And so one good example is yesterday. So I'm in luteal phase right now. I try not to go too crazy with my workouts during this part of my cycle. So one of the things that I did yesterday is I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like working out today. But I do want to do some type of movement because I have been, like I said, turning up all month. So I was like, I do need to do some type of movement. So I have found this, it's like a 15-minute lymphatic workout on YouTube. I'm gonna go back and I'll link that below because I actually think it was really good. I think it's something great to do when you are right before your period or on your period. If you're like me and you tend to get more bloated during that time, it's like something that you can do on a rest day or even just if you do have the time and space every morning. But anyway, so instead of being like, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything and then I'm going to feel some kind of way about it later, I decided to do that instead. Something gentle, something easy, just something that I can move and do something good for my body. Because movement is a non-negotiable for me. Now, how that looks doesn't, again, it can look like that 15-minute lymphatic thing that I did that was very gentle, very easy, went by fast. It can even look like a 5-minute stretch. It can look like 5 minutes of foam rolling. Whatever, just whatever. But the point is just that I do the movement, right? So I want us to not be so strict, not be just trying to check the boxes, and also really be in tune about what actually makes sense for you. Because it might not make sense for you to be lifting weights 5 days a week in this season. It might not make sense for you to be going for runs every single day. That might not make sense for you in this season of life. So I encourage you, spring is a great time to reevaluate your rhythms and your routines and just get a better idea of what you need. So I'm going to finish my walk. Just wanted to share those thoughts with you. I'm back at home and I actually left to go get some breakfast. I've been craving a protein power bowl from Nectar, but I saw on the app that they have this deal or morning deal where you get a small smoothie. I don't know if this is a small or a mini. I gotta go back and look, but you get like a small smoothie and not pancakes, waffles, because they have waffles now. So the waffles look pretty good. The crazy thing about this is, I didn't even go for this, but I figured that was a pretty good deal and it was cheaper than what I was planning on getting. But also, y'all, I don't even really eat waffles. I probably have not had a waffle in years. I cannot tell you the last time that I have eaten a waffle or even a pancake. I'm just not a big pancake or a waffle person. I do have a pancake recipe on my meal plan. And so if y'all don't know, I have a meal plan and I can link that. It's always linked below. But I have a meal plan and it does have like a protein waffle recipe on there, a gluten-free pancake. What am I trying to say? A gluten-free pancake recipe on there. And so I used to eat those occasionally, but for whatever well, actually I think I know why. So I used to do the paleo diet, and when you are doing that, you really don't eat a lot of bread or really any bread or really a lot of grain. So I kind of just got used to not eating any of that stuff. And even the paleo waffles that you can buy, I personally don't like them. My son used to love them. And so I would buy like those paleo waffle mixes for him. He would eat them, but I never liked them. So I think I kind of just stopped eating waffles and pancakes as a result. And to be honest, I don't really miss it. It's just not one of those things that I personally feel like, from a nutrition standpoint, really adds a lot to a meal for me. So I would prefer to get my carbs with something else or something a little bit more nutrient dense. So yeah. But let me show you, let me do a little closer video. So these are the waffles. They are hot. They did come out hot, which, I appreciate. I don't really know what I was expecting. I think I was kind of expecting, those cold waffles that are in a package or whatever, but I think they actually cook these. And it does have, I think this is cashew butter or peanut butter. I can't remember which one. And some, I think this is their chia seed jam and strawberries. I got this particular one. I was looking at the berry shortcake one. I wanted that one, but I got this particular one just because it had a few more grams of protein. And when I was looking at it, I was like, this probably has, it might have a little bit less sugar than the one that I got. And I actually get this smoothie from them quite a bit. There's really only two things that I get all the time from Nectar, and it's the peanut butter health nut smoothie, because I cannot have almonds right now. So I get the peanut butter health nut smoothie with pea protein, or the protein power bowl. So I just wanted to try something a little bit different this morning. Also, I have been trying not to eat so much cold food. So I really haven't been having smoothies or anything like that a lot. I haven't been doing smoothies a lot. And I just find that it really does impact my digestion, eating a lot of cold foods. So I try to, you know, try not to do that as much. But sometimes for me, a smoothie is kind of like, for me, a smoothie is, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's almost the equivalent of like a protein bar for me. If I'm going to have a smoothie, it's usually for convenience, which today, even me eating out for breakfast, typically don't do that because, I'm normally at home and can make my own breakfast or whatever. And I actually still might make an egg to go with this. That's not bad. This is not bad. I gotta go back and look up the macros for this, because I think this, it had 12 grams of protein. That's what it said on the sign, but I gotta go back and look at the macros because this actually tastes okay. It's better than what I was expecting. The texture is actually decent for a protein pancake, because I'm sure I think they use whey. I think I did read that they use whey protein in these. So I think you can. Did I see somewhere? I don't know if you can actually substitute for a plant-based protein. Personally, I kind of go back and forth. I like the way that whey protein tastes better in my smoothies or bowls or whatever, but sometimes I do notice that I feel a little bit, I guess heavy is the word, after I've eaten something or had a smoothie with whey protein. So we'll see how today goes, but I'm just not as concerned about it. Because for the last couple days, I have not been hitting my macros target. So for those of you who are not familiar with macros, that's your um, protein, your carbs, and fats, and fiber too. I count fiber too, but I've been hitting my fiber. I've been, for whatever reason, I've been doing amazing on my fiber. But my protein and my carbs, I've been struggling with that for some reason. Never struggle with fat. Apparently, I eat a lot of fat in my diet, but healthy fats. But I tend to struggle to meet that protein and even the carbohydrate bit. And I think the whole carb thing is because from the time that I spent being paleo, I just didn't really care about eating carbs as much. But you do need carbs. And I realized recently when I started paying more attention, I'm like, I'm actually not eating nearly enough carbohydrates. So that would explain, because at one point I felt like I was fatigued a lot, and that would explain some of that is because I'm not eating enough carbohydrates. So I try to get a minimum of 130 grams. I forget what my target is. I want to say it's like 170 or somewhere around that, but I just try to get at least 130 because that is the recommended daily intake. Y'all see all this stuff that I learned in my nutrition course. So I try to get at least the recommended daily intake, and some days I go over. I think I've been kind of getting close to it, even if I'm not hitting it. But that's why I didn't mind trying these pancakes today, because I'm like, I really struggle with hitting that target. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk with the food in my mouth, but I'm gonna finish this up, and then I am going to open my Thrive Market order, show you guys what I got from there. I wanted to make some buns today, but my starter is not looking very robust, so I might need to just feed it again today and try again tomorrow. But anyway, let me finish eating this and I will see you in a second. Now it's time to open this Thrive order and unpack it. I actually think my vitamin D is in here. So I didn't order a ton this week because we only needed a few things. I'm trying to get better about keeping up with what we need. So Thrive Market does have an app. I download the app, and what I've been doing lately is adding stuff into my cart that we've run out of, or that we're about to run out of, because you still have to account for that time that things need to be shipped. So I try to make sure that I go ahead, add the stuff to the app when I see it. So we're not quite out of olive oil yet, but we are about to be. So I went ahead and added it to the app a few days ago before I did the order. So I'm trying to get better about that. I think the app is really helpful for that, just because usually my phone is nearby somewhere, so I can always just grab my phone and put it in. Or maybe when I pick my phone up, I'll remember sometimes like, oh, we actually need XYZ. So this week I got olive oil. I like their olive oil. I'm not one of those people who has tons of preferences about olive oil. But I will say that their olive oil only comes from, what is it, from one place. So that's one of the red flags for what are they, like the fake olive oils or the diluted olive oils, is that a lot of times they'll have multiple places of origin on the label. This one only has one place of origin, so that's a good sign. My only gripe is that it does come in a plastic bottle um instead of a glass bottle. But otherwise, I'm going to stick with this for now because, again, I'm just not familiar enough with, I guess I just haven't done enough research on what is a quality olive oil. But in general, the Thrive Market brand, their products are really good quality. In my experience, whenever I buy something from that brand, from the actual Thrive Market brand, the quality is pretty good. So I'm just gonna stick with this olive oil for now. Like I said, it is pretty flavorful. It comes from one single origin or one single place of origin, and it does come in a dark bottle. So for the most part, I think those are all positives. I got some of these little hand wipes because it's about that time where we're going to be out and about a lot. They weren't on, I think they were like the regular price or whatever. So if something is usually on sale, like something like this that's small, I'll typically buy multiple of it. But I just bought one pack just to kind of hold me over until they do go on sale on Thrive Market. Cashew butter. Y'all, I was just sitting here looking at the ingredients on this cashew butter, and I'm just realizing that this cashew butter actually has sunflower oil in it. I thought it was just cashews. I don't know if they changed that, but I don't like that. I don't want the sunflower oil. So I'm probably going to be finding another one, which their cashew oil is the best price cashew butter is the best price that I've ever seen anywhere. Usually it's about $14 a jar. Thrive Markets is, I want to say it was like $10 or $11 a jar. But I guess that difference makes sense because it does have sunflower oil in it. So I will probably be looking for another cashew butter. That sucks because I could have sworn it was just cashews. But they don't add sugar or salt. It's not, for me, it's not that big of a deal for me to just not eat it. I'm going to go ahead and eat it, finish this jar off, but then I'll probably look for another one. I might end up having to pay that $14 a jar. I personally use cashew butter more, or I started using cashew butter because I was having symptoms whenever I did what's the other one? Almond. I used to eat a lot of almonds, almond butter. Like, I love me some almonds. But I started having digestive issues when I would eat almonds. I actually think that's resolved itself because I had almonds a while back and I was fine. But I don't know. I'm still a little iffy on that. So I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out a more cost-effective option. Oh, y'all, so I bought this vitamin D, Nordic Naturals again. I keep buying the gummies. I think they have capsules, but I don't even know how I did that. But I'm just going to use these because I already have them. But the price on this was really good. So, again, they had a couple vitamin D options. Nordic Naturals is a pretty good brand, so I think that's why I ended up getting this, and it probably was on sale too. It probably was just a good price. That's why I ended up getting it. But I think they do have soft gels too. I'm not a huge fan of gummies because I think it's just the sugar is just unnecessary, but yeah. I'm going to just use these up for now. And hopefully next time I will put the right ones in my cart. Okay, let me remember. They also do a really good job at packaging this stuff so that it doesn't waste or anything like that. I think this is my avocado oil. Avocado oil, same thing. I really trust their avocado oil. It says 100% pure on the label. I'm going to take that. And if I recall correctly, it was a really good price too. So the 3 brands that I typically use when it comes to avocado oil is Thrive Market, Chosen Foods, or Primal Kitchen. And Thrive actually sells all 3, but typically theirs is the cheapest, so that's the one that I typically buy. And then my last little thing is some chips. We really love these Boulder Canyon chips. We eat them all the time. We just get the plain ones. So what I will do sometimes is Thrive Market has this lemon pepper seasoning. Their lemon pepper seasoning is so good. I've used it on meat, but I also use it on, I will make Greek yogurt. So I'll get some Greek yogurt. I'll put some of that lemon pepper seasoning in the yogurt and kind of mix it up and then use these chips. And they do have these at a really good price. They typically have when they have a sale, they'll typically have the best price on these that you can find anywhere. Because I think they typically cost around $8 for a bag like this. But on Thrive, I want to say I got these for like $6 or less than $6 on Thrive. So, of course, the prices change and vary depending on what kind of sales they have. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the pricing and why I decided to keep my membership. So I do an annual membership, because it's just a little bit cheaper. I think the monthly one is around $12. I can't remember. But I prefer to go ahead and do the annual membership. And I do find that I actually save. It probably takes me about 3 or 4 shipments to save what I spent on the membership. Now, mind you, I'm only in a family of 3 people. So if you have a larger family, you'll probably save a lot more. Honestly, the more that you buy from them or the more that you have to buy for your family, you'll probably save more money. The other thing that they do is they do something called Thrive Cash. So when you're buying in bulk or you're buying multiple items, they'll give you like a % back in Thrive Cash. I typically don't really take advantage of that just because, again, it's only 3 of us and I'm just not one of those people that buys a lot, like I'm not buying 3 things of olive oil because it takes me a while to get through 1 container. So I'm probably not buying 3 things of olive oil, but if you're in a large family, it might make sense for you to do something like that. So that's just something to think about. I will put my affiliate link for Thrive Market below. But just so you know, they don't send me anything free. I just like Thrive Market and I feel like it's worth it. And especially once I started cutting my spending at Target, I felt like this was a really good replacement for me to get some of those things that I would have normally gotten from Target. But I do want to show y'all this lemon pepper seasoning. By the way, they do have really good prices on seasonings. Any of your pantry staples, I find that they have good prices on any kind of pantry staples, spices, stuff like that. Even at their regular price, is really good. But when they have sales, the sales are typically significantly less. And again, like I said, for me, having a smaller family, just being in a 3-person household, it takes me about 3 or 4 orders. I would estimate to make that membership feedback. So if you are buying a lot more, you're doing a lot larger orders, you will probably make your membership feedback or save, that membership feedback in like two to 3 orders. I am about to do a little bit more adulting, mainly just clean up my kitchen. That's the big thing. And then I'm going to shower and get dressed and do some work. So that's all pretty boring, the work part. So I'm just going to end this here. Thank you for spending the morning with me, and I will see you in the next video.